As a retired engineer, I have an obligatory crackpot theory. Mine's called time particle theory. I've been working on it for 2.5 years, since April 21. December 2020, moment of enlightenment, revelation, true nature of being. April 2021, I discovered that infernal double slit experiment presented by Professor Jim Al-Khalili. And I said, "You're lying," and set off to find out what the truth was. And very quickly I realised that you could just, if there were assumptions made in science that weren't proven, you could question them. I could question them. Is the speed of light constant? For example. Has gravity always been the same? For example. Has the planet always run at the same speed? For example. Those kind of questions. So, taking an engineering perspective, it's my background, I started to look at these ideas, and it was basically, time particle theory is simply this. Only one particle exists in time. There's a dimensional divide. I drew a line and I had a dimensional divide. Here it is. And my head is the time particle. And it alone exists with the energy of time. It has time to exist. If it had no time, it can't exist. If something exists, it must have time in which to exist. A moment of existence. So a moment has a duration. And therefore, that moment was a bending moment. So I went, so that's straight into my engineering background. I went, well, let's just pursue this avenue and see what I'm getting. I was getting loads of translates, loads of downloads, a lot of difficulty in translating, but eventually got it. So, the time particle exists in time. It is the duration of h seconds. We measure h seconds from our side. And if you want to draw it as a simple design, you can have, there's my head, there's the design, here's my body, it's all of the universe on the other side of the line. And I was calling that space, saying that there's time, there's space-time inside the time particle, and therefore inside space existed space-time. It's the interior of space. Space-time. And it got so brilliant. I was getting some fantastic visualizations, really, but I couldn't prove any of it because I was just questioning assumptions. I wanted science to prove their assumptions, and they refused. They refused. And then you find 1983, of course, the linking of the meter stand to the speed of light. You see the crime, falsifying information, nailed. So I'm hoping that time particle theory obviously is the theory that takes its name. Someone commented yesterday it was a brilliant name. I thought, great. A physicist gave it to me. I had one conversation with a physicist on Twitter who took me on because I was goading him so badly, and he called it your time particle theory, and I went, oh, brilliant. A physicist has called it a theory. I'd never called it a theory, and I'd never called it the time particle theory. He did. And it's mine. I went, okay, thank you, doctor. I love that. So, time particle theory. Then Leve, the link from the past, Leve drops in, and Leve proves time particle theory because it's bending moments, it's engineering approach to, you just divide load to the nth scale and you're subatomic, and let's see what you've got there. Leve's genius there was to use Xi, that symbol, where I'm stuck in the maths. And I think it's partition function. I think it's a huge, there's something behind that single symbol. There's a huge branch of mathematics that I have no idea about. And that's where the anti-clockwise motion is proven within this partition function in that single symbol. And he brings that in. So that's the bit that's really missing from this document. But Maths has already got it. Don't worry, we'll find it. So Leve proves time particle theory. Now, if you then take that document of Leve as being a provenance document from 1915, preceding general relativity in its construction, that science had a chance in 15 to say, shall we give them Leve, or shall we give them this committee bodge, and Einstein will push him to the front because he wants to be famous. And that's the lie went in. And once you lie, you're stuck with it. Yeah, you have to sit on that lie forever, and it just grows and grows. It festers. And look at the time scale that's passed from our perspective, at least. Yeah, it looks to us like 108 years has passed since that lie was told, and it's just got bigger and bigger. So, grab these ideas for yourself. They're really, really getting simple now. Time particle theory cancels out E equals mc squared. It expands it into the longer formula. Have a look at it if you want. It's just time particle theory. There's a single particle, exists in time of h duration seconds, and we're going to call that a second now. So none of this 10 to the minus 34 nonsense now. No, that's the baseline. That's a second. 2 pi seconds. And then everything's relative to that. So when we get up to our scale, real time, will be to the 34, 10 to the 34 seconds. It's just a conversion factor. But we can still call it a second, it's fine. We just know we're dealing with the time particle second, or our real time second. Okay, that's a concept. Know that all this concept, all I was doing was questioning assumptions in science that they still can't prove. You question them about it, try it, see what happens. If you have levee in your back pocket, you can just smash it in their faces with their stupidity. No matter how smart they pretend to be, it's bluff. They're bluffing. Call their bluff with real confidence. Have you looked at time particle theory, Professor? Okay, brilliant. So we've really won, and I've been so happy recently. It's fantastic knowing that we won. I'm just waiting, and it's really, really, really soon. It's as easy as going, oh, time particle theory, that's interesting, let's have a look at that. There's nothing more to say, is there, my friends? The moment you choose to look at time particle theory is the moment that the suffering that's going on is not in your name. You've separated yourself from the deaths in Gaza, in Palestine, in the Middle East, in Ukraine, in Africa, everywhere around the world. All the suffering that's going on right now, deliberately inflicted, stops the moment you choose time particle theory. Because it's nothing to do with you. It's been done by this other species, virtually. The liars. We're the truthers, they're the liars. Be confident on that. And as people realise that, they'll suddenly go, oh fuck no, I'm not a liar, I prefer the truthers. I get truth. What do I get if I get truth? Justice and peace. Yeah. I'll get back to you. Love rules. Do the work. Choose.